Today is a lunar eclipse in Pisces, and I just wanted to talk about the astrology and what that's going to bring for the next couple of weeks. If you don't know anything about eclipses, know that they are one of the more important chapters in your life. They're like the new turning of a page or closing of a book. Think of it as a new restart in a specific area in your life, or finally the closure of that area that might have been brought up by previous eclipses. Our past eclipses were actually in the Aries and Libra axis, and this is the first eclipse that's actually touching upon the Pisces energy. So that's going to be kind of the introduction of the next year and a half, when the nodes actually go into the Pisces and the Virgo axis instead of the Aries and Libra that we're used to. I've circled the eclipses in pink here, and that's kind of the areas that are going to be affected the most. Look at where Virgo and Pisces are in your chart. Those are the areas that the eclipse is going to land on. So those are going to be the areas you're going to see shifts in. Basically, think about like an earthquake, an astrological earthquake that's going to happen in those houses, and it's just going to shake things up. In Pisces here, we have two long-term planets. We have Saturn and Neptune. Neptune is the planet of illusion and daydreaming, while Saturn is the opposite. It is a planet of structure, saying no, boundaries, and it's a sign of Pisces. So right now the Piscean dreamlike energy is being helped by Saturn, basically making your ideas come to life and actually have a sustainable, tangible way to root them in reality and make them come true. Both of these planets are also in retrograde, so it's more of an internal type of revisement that is happening right now instead of a forward going motion when it comes to the ideas and the prepping and just going over what we really want, our dreams, our aspirations. How are we actually going to do this? Right now we're in the planning phase. With the eclipse being primarily here in Pisces, we're going to be pushed on how we are going to make this happen. How are we going to make our aspirations actually come to life? How are we actually going to let go of all the things that have been pushing us back, have been getting in our way? How are we ourselves limiting ourselves? How is society limiting ourselves? How is the way that we view and dream? Even some people don't even have the energy to dream big. They just get discouraged, and it's a normal thing here with Saturn in Pisces, of fear and discouragement. But it's more about being constructive in how we dream and how we actually go and push forward for those dreams to come true. Before, with the eclipses in Aries and Libra, we were focusing on us versus them. How are we going to balance others' needs versus our needs? Now we're switching to the next axis of Pisces and Virgo. So servitude to others and servitude to our own dreams. How are we going to balance between giving to others but also not being a doormat? Since it's in the North Node, this is something that we're going to try to aspire or go towards. But also beware of the insatiable head of the dragon here. Sometimes we can dream too much, sometimes we can dream too big, where nothing ever really gets done, and then we sit back and feel discouraged. Remember to plan things in reality. Pisces is great at avoiding reality, but what we have to do is make sure that we take the lessons that Saturn are setting up here and make sure that those things are set in stone, have a tangible plan, have a structured plan for those things to come to life. In the yellow, those are the mutable signs. Those are the signs that are going to be hit the most with this eclipse, since it is happening in the mutable sign of Pisces. So if you have any major planets in any of the four mutable signs here, that eclipse is going to shake up your world a little bit harder than other people, just because it's going to hit you with those square energies. Square is usually tension to make you move forward. Let's not forget that we have the sun in Virgo. That's going to bring a spotlight to the servitude area in our lives, our health area in our lives, and how we're going to give back to the community while balancing with the Pisces axis of not giving too much. Mercury is here in Virgo, finally going direct after its long retrograde, and it's actually going to help the Virgo energy just have a more focused, concise, and more of a streamlined energy to it. Since it loves being in Virgo, it's a sign of its exaltation and domicile. So just, it's a lot about thinking. It's about just really planning things through and just absorb what happens during this eclipse. If you're big into manifestation, now's not the time to manifest. Just let things play out. Pay attention to what's going on around you, what's crumbling and what's coming up, what opportunities are floating up to the surface, and what are things that are just not giving, what are things that are just not happening for you. That's going to help you figure out what energy you need to give towards what, and what energy you need to just let go and not invest in certain areas. As always, take care of yourself during this eclipse and eclipse season. It can be very, very draining. It's just a lot of energy that's being shaken up right now. To me, it's equivalent of just don't move, let the dust settle, and then see where everything fell, and then from there move forward.